Pricing strategy, task 2, part A. So this is the first part of your actual financial plan. We're going to go through some strategies and some broad things just to recap, but in reality you probably only use 2 or maybe even just 1 strategy to make it consistent and to make it easier for you to actually develop your plan and make it a model will actually work. If you use a lot of these models, they won't work, and I'll explain why as we go through. So pricing strategies, basically you know about price skimming penetration from your time doing marketing. We're going to talk through those strategies and also the reasons why some of them aren't suitable. So when you come to this section, don't make mistakes. Own brand baked beans, that would use something called economy pricing. Now, economy pricing is when you put something in at a very low point. Baked beans are generally a loss leader for a business, which means they lose money on it. If you're Sainsbury's and Tesco's, you can do this because you can undercut big competitors all the time because you have the economies of scale to do it. If you're a small company, the chances of you making this sustainable is very unlikely. You cannot undercut your competitors when you first start the market unless you have huge amounts of capital and huge amounts of investment. And let's face it, if you're a small business, you will not have those things from the off. So that's something which probably isn't going to help you too much in this assignment. So if I were you, I would steer clear of using it. Gucci handbags, or Gucci in general, that would be something which should be premium pricing, which would be high level. Now, you can use this method. I wouldn't, strictly speaking, advise it, but if it goes with your business model, I would say do it. That means you'd be charging a higher service or a higher premium for your product because of either a label or what you're doing is you're upselling it to make it more expensive. That's something you can look at. I would say it is slightly harder on the other method, but you can do it. I suppose like a boutique store has done that pretty well for a long time, or if you're selling something at a high level. I would have thought something like a mobile hairdresser or something like that would not fall into premium pricing. Doesn't matter how good the person is cutting your hair, at the end of the day they won't be able to charge a premium for it. The original iPad, again, that would use premium pricing, but there's also, because obviously being a luxury good and being the first of something, but you could also talk about something like this, which is PS4. That would use price skimming. That means usually when something comes to market, it would usually have a high price point. So the PS4 is about 350 quid. Now, 2 years down the road or 18 months down the road, it costs you what? 240. I think you can even get Xbox Ones for about £200 now. Usually that means in terms of the rate of adoption, the lower the price will get. So at the start you'll have your early adopters, and then as you go through that cycle, you'll get people who generally charge less and less and less each time they actually charge for the product and what goes through. As you're not doing anything with technology or you're not using that model, I would think it's almost impossible to use it and actually to charge those really high prices for something. I wouldn't have thought that's suitable at all for this assignment, and I would steer well clear of it. Amazon Kindle Fire, that's price penetration because really it's sold at a loss. Now you can get a Kindle Fire for what, 50 quid, 40 quid in sales. Really that device is being sold to sell the marketplace that's within it. It's not being charged for anything other than getting you to buy that product so you can pay into Amazon, you can buy their services and films. Your businesses are not going to be anywhere near big enough to do that, and really you can't penetrate the market for large amounts of time unless you have huge amounts of cash reserves, so it's not really suitable for your business. You can have promotions, but they can only be short term really. But really the 2 methods that you could use, and one we haven't shown, but one which most businesses adopt, is this, first one, competitive prices. That basically means you match your prices with your competition. That means you basically go toe for toe for them. So if Starbucks charges £1.80 for a cup of tea, you charge £1.80 for a cup of tea. If you're a coffee shop, let's say if you're looking at mid-range for a dress, Oasis charges 50 quid, you would charge 50 quid for a dress. You match people point by point by point. Premium pricing you can do, again, you can set higher prices for luxury services, but again, you have to show why they are luxury, which is probably makes it tricky and competitive. What I'd strongly suggest most of you use is competitive pricing, and make that very clear. The way you use it is this. You would say you'd say what the product is, bang, your competitor's price, your price, and the reason for that choice. What I would say though is you match the prices. So you say competitor's price, you match that price, which means you make it the same, and you say reason why you're using competitive pricing. Two to three items that you're going to sell, and it will help you a lot. Ignore this example. Just match competitor's price with your price and the reason for it. It will make it 10 times easier for you to actually do this assignment if you do that. If you use other pricing methods, they're not really suitable unless it's premium pricing and you can prove that it's premium pricing.